Hey, mamas, I've got something really special coming up. Actually, two things. This November, I'm going to be speaking at not one, but two powerful summits. And I would love for you to join me. First, from November 11th through the 14th, I'll be sharing Radical Honesty, the Superhuman Power Within at the Superhuman Summit 2025. This event is packed with 36 incredible speakers, each one unlocking a different superpower to help you live with more courage, purpose, and authenticity. It's just $39 for lifetime access, which means you can revisit all the sessions anytime you need a boost of motivation. You can grab your pass using the link in the show notes. Then, as if that wasn't exciting enough, from November 14th through the 16th, I'll also be part of the Everyday Woman Summit, a free online event that's all about real women, real stories, and rediscovering your power. If you've ever felt invisible or wondered if your story matters, this summit will remind you just how powerful you truly are. You can join completely free, so reserve your spot using the link in the show notes today. So, whether you're ready to dive deep into your superhuman potential or simply want to feel seen, inspired, and connected, these summits are for you. I'll be there cheering you on and helping you remember you already have everything you need inside of you. Can't wait to see you there. Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together. Hey, Radiant Mamas. Welcome back to the Radiant Mom Rising podcast. Today's episode is such an inspiring one. I had the incredible honor of talking with Shonda Allen Hill, a retired academic executive who completely reinvented her life. She shares her powerful story of retiring debt-free at 51 and stepping into her next chapter as a strategic business consultant. We dive deep into what it really means to live a rich, fulfilled life, one filled with purpose, alignment, and peace, not just financial success. So grab your coffee or take me along on your walk, Mama, because this episode will remind you that it's never too late to realign your life, rediscover yourself, and create success on your terms. Let's dive in. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited to be here with Shonda today. Shonda, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mary. I'm great. Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you. Let's get started. If you will, introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Wonderful. Well, I tell you, I'm Shonda Allen Hill, multifaceted, mom of three, retired academic exec of over 25 years. I decided that I would just retire like at 51. I wanted to do it debt free. And I just said, it's time for me to go start my business and start my consulting business. And obviously, I worked well enough that the place that I was hired with, they went ahead and hired me right back to consult. Which
Yay.
was fun. And so I just do that business strategic consulting with them, helping them with partnerships and any other businesses that need help. So it's amazing. It's been a great, great journey.
Oh, well, I'd love to hear more about your journey. Tell us a little bit about, as a mom and developing all this and getting to that point of 51 years old to retire, no debt, debt free. Tell us a little bit about what that journey's been like for you to get to that point.
Absolutely. Well, first off, the first thing I learned is that I had to define what my rich life really is. Okay. My rich life is, I did my calculations and my math. I knew I needed to have a certain amount of money in order to go ahead and retire. But now I'm also married. Okay. So I do have a husband who works. All right. But what was so exciting was defining what really mattered to me most. It wasn't
Mhm.
living by anybody else's standards.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
saying my rich life is I can travel, 3 times a year or twice a year out of the country, travel with my kids, spend time with my family, and actually just hop and start my business, decide what that amount was for me to live off of, and just started working towards that. I did that about 3 years before I actually left. And yeah, just made that jump. I wanted to show my kids you can live your best life. It's not by anybody else's standards.
Yes.
I don't have to have $1 billion to do it,
Yep.
but I can live my best life. And so hopped out there, started my business, and just been going ever since.
That's amazing, Shonda. And what a beautiful example you're setting for your kids. It's something I'm passionate about myself to set for my kids to show them what is possible. I mean, that's what I'm all about for moms is through these conversations, through this storytelling. It's like there's so many amazing examples, evidence of what is possible for us. And I feel like the more we get, like, we allow ourselves to just get started. Just let it be messy. Just do the things. I mean, we're not meant to just figure it all out in one go before we do it. We're meant to figure it out along the way. And there's nothing, right? Like I'm taking that action and it's scary. I get it. It's not easy, which is why it's great to have these support and this inspiration to help keep you going, right? And and all the ups and downs.
I love it. Well, I tell you, and this is when you're talking about it being messy, Mary, this is what really led me to this point. Okay. Talk about messy. One of my love languages is growth. Okay. And I love just kind of growing and moving and shaking. Well, my husband is absolutely amazing. He's genius, actually, but he's just kind of this low key guy. We were very different in the areas of finance, okay? And that is one of the highest areas where, the statistics of divorce show. We'll talk about messy. I like finances to be, I'm what they call a conventionalist, you
Yes.
know husband is what they call, he's spontaneous and he's a free liver and that type thing. It almost destroyed our marriage. It almost destroyed our marriage. And I had to wake up one day and I had to say, Shonda, you realize that every time you begin to talk about the area of finances, okay? Because it's not that my husband didn't like finances, he just didn't like to get his hands dirty in it. And it took me a while to understand that, okay? We didn't see eye to eye in
Yeah.
that area. And it frustrated me so much, Mary. It frustrated me to the point that I didn't think we would be able to stay together. Well, one day I was just praying about it, meditating about it. And honestly, it settled on me that I needed to stop talking about it, literally. Like, don't say anything else about this issue. When you approach this issue towards your husband and you get close to it, I want you to say this. And that's when I started developing and learning about the traps, the conversation traps.
Oh,
The first one for me is the Groundhog Day trap. That's one of my biggest traps. And that trap says, you already know, Mary, how this conversation is going to end. You've gone through this process before, it has drained your energy, and you're no better for it, and you're no closer to your goal. So stop talking about it. So the Groundhog Day trap, that's mine. I have four more in there that I just kind of had to
yes.
devise and develop. And when I got to that point, oh, Mary, my life changed. I mean this in the best of ways.
Yeah.
It absolutely changed when I freed myself from trying to convince my husband, trying to cajole him and persuade him to see my point of view. I realized that I had the energy that I was trying to convince him that he needed to participate with me in to actually do it myself.
Wow. Chonda, can I just say right now, like, talk about divine timing. This is what I love about this journey that I'm on because, we're all growing, we're all evolving, and just being able to have these conversations, like, you just never know what you're going to hear and what you need to hear and how it's going to come. And like you showing up in my world right now, I cannot tell you enough how much I resonate so much with what you went through with your husband because I'm going through that currently with my husband. And it's like that has been something that has been one of the greatest struggles that we've had is, he's the same way, just so like lollygag about money, like, oh, we'll be fine, everything's good. And I'm sitting here like, okay, but we have this, and this coming up. We need to be smart. We need to think about this. Like I'm very organized in how I run, the books and how things are going. And he's all like worry free in a way that sometimes is a little bit like it triggers me because like that was always my struggle was my money relationship, was my scarcity mindset. And I worked so hard over the years through life coaching to really shift into the abundance mindset, which has been game changing. But what I really love that you've brought today is such a powerful piece that we don't always think about because we are kind of used to that groundhog hamster wheel of the same conversations and nothing keeps changing, but we keep coming back to that point. And I think that is such a powerful thing to reflect for anyone listening who also is in a marriage where maybe you have that differences of like the finances or how things should go or who's doing more of what. And really like I love that. Just stop talking about it. Like
Yeah.
I mean that's sorry. I really needed to hear
Really,
this.
I'm going to tell you what I
Yeah.
learned is that Shonda was killing
Yeah.
that finance expert, the one who was able to produce the very thing that I kept talking about. So
Yes.
I just believed that there was something that I needed to become in that area. Number one, let me say this. This book is not for, in particular, this work or the work that I do. It is not for people who are in, let me go back and say, in abusive relationships, relationships with narcissists,
Yeah.
or people who are just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good, good, good for pointing
This
that
book
out.
is not,
That's a
this
whole
book is
nother thing. Yes, yes, yeah.
not thing. This is not that. It is for people who are in same relationships. They each want the relationships to work. They are both, healthy people
Oh
for
yeah.
whatever that is worth. And in my case, I want my relationship to work. It is also for people who, for whatever reason, they are not about to make any major strides right now. They are not going to leave the relationship. They're not going to leave the job. They're going to stick it out. Okay. I have to
Love
say
that.
this because, we have to put this in context.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I realized that I was giving away the part of me that probably my spirit needed to be developing to become at that time. So my husband, when we would get to that issue, I realized that I started treating my money, my energy like my money. I was giving away, just giving
S-
away
mm,
myself
yeah.
and exhausting myself. I didn't realize this. I was exhausting myself by the end of the day, I had given away a third of the energy money that I needed to carry me through the rest of the day.
Oh my
This was
gosh.
so important. And so the minute the minute I wrote these down and I started really kind of putting these up and saying, listen, no, you're about to walk into this trap. Stop, because this is going to cost you,
Yeah.
okay, $100, or this is going to cost you your future retirement, or this is
Yeah.
going to cost you whatever. I stopped doing that. Now, what did I do? It gave me the energy to create another financial system. So, yeah, my husband and I have an account together, but of course, I had to develop my own account. I
Mm.
had to start creating, that type of system separately,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this is what the beauty of it is. Sometimes I think about it and I just go, oh my God, it just overwhelms me. My husband is now the top financial person in our family, from a man who did not even really want to talk about
Yeah.
the issues of finances. Listen, I'm serious.
Oh, wow.
He is now the person, listen to me, he is delving in investments. He is now working. He was talking to me the other day and couldn't stop talking to me about, I wonder about these options tradings. I don't say, now let me tell you, number three trap is called the delayed enlightenment trap. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That trap says when someone's light bulb begins to come on, don't interfere their enlightenment process by saying, I told you so.
Oh, yeah.
Allow the process to just occur. Okay.
Yeah.
And just support them by saying, I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. Oh, this
Yeah.
is so wonderful. It allows you to keep your profit making energy to do what you need to do. And it allows the other person to process and to grow at their pace.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now I just look absolutely in amazement. Those traps helped me to retire. I would have never been able to retire at 51 because I wouldn't have had the mental bandwidth
Yeah.
to think about my freedom because
Yes.
I tied my freedom, energy, and all of my money making bandwidth in trying to convince you
Yeah. Yep.
to see things my way.
Wow.
And so has been life changing.
That's
It has been amazing for me. It's been
and
so free.
I bet so. And that, it's so powerful in what I've been learning on my journey about, when we really work to rid ourselves of all that crap, the lack of, the things that we want that we don't have. And what you're doing is you're making space then to forget the empowerment and to make space to have the capacity to carry the abundance, the wealth. And that is something like you say, it's like we don't realize when you keep bringing up that same conversation or you keep bringing up focusing on the lack of or the scarcity of it, you're literally what you focus on you're going to achieve, you're going to create as your reality over and over again. So it's like that has been such a powerful shift for me, is realizing that like, this is part of the trusting in God, trusting the universe is working for me, not against me, and knowing that money is always flowing. And you're right. And my mom taught me a lot about being independent and never really depending on a person.
Yeah.
So that, but what I love even more about this story, because it's not, there's okay to rely, if you have a husband, a spouse, that's great to have that partnership. It's beautiful. But I love it because so many people focus on what they want to change about the other person. And what you don't realize is that if you just work on yourself, that influence that your spouse sees is so much more empowering and will make such a difference more so in their selves than if you keep focusing on them, and what they need to change. And that's
Yeah.
exactly your example that you're saying. Like through your own determination of being like, I'm no longer going to focus on this. I'm going to focus on what I can do. And doing that, your husband, without even realizing, was just witnessing something so beautiful and such a change that encouraged and motivated him to now go out there and blow you away and who he was meant to be.
Leave them alone. That's correct. Just leave people alone and stop, interfering with the signals that God is dealing with them as well. So you just stop interfering with the signals that he is working, within them. I tell you, the other thing I learned, and this was such an important trick, and it has to be something that's revealed to us, okay? And that is a lot of times we think that when we are, just trying to convince and keep persuading, even our children, as hard as that can be,
Yeah.
okay, I know that can be difficult. But when we keep trying to do that and we see that the words that we're conveying are not working, the one thing I realized is that I was giving away the power
Mm.
to either do two things. One, the power to step away and allow that individual to see things for themselves. Okay.
Mm. Yeah.
Obviously, there's something that's missing there, and you're not needed in this equation. Okay. All right. And number two, the power to just let God work in them. I mean, I had to stop being bashful in saying that, there is a higher power that is working in you. And what I need to do, Mary, is I need to get out of the way between
Yes.
you and the higher power working
Yeah.
with you on whatever that issue is. And in due time, they will see, or if it is not for them, you will see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's
And
so
not be
true.
them.
I know. Well, that's where rebellion comes in too. If you see that with enough, the more you try to tell your kids or whatever not to do something, what automatically they're just going to want to do it now. So there's a fine line of like watching, but I think there's nothing more powerful than role modeling. Again, like not just with your spouse, but with your kids. Like the more they see that you take care of yourself, that you love yourself. I mean, that was something I always share, I talk a lot about is growing up, I had a mom who dissed herself. She always called herself fat and ugly. So I didn't even realize that she was putting that belief in me as a child to
Yeah.
where I never believed I was beautiful. And thankfully now I've opened my eyes, but I went through a lot of struggles growing up because of that one belief
Mhm.
and needing acceptance and other people to see me, to feel validated, to feel beautiful. And that led me down dark path. It led me down the wrong crowds in horrible ways. And so thankfully, like I said, again, like you say, God does intervene. And I love that because my mom even had to let me go. She had to stop. She couldn't change. I made the decisions I did. The best thing she did was let me go in a way,
Yeah.
in a loving way, not in a way of like disowning me, but in a loving way of like, you know what, Mary, you got to figure this out for yourself. I love you. I'm here when you're ready to change, but until then, I'm not going to enable this.
Yes.
I, you
Oh,
know,
I love that, Mary. Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that. And that there's something powerful in people knowing that you're there, you love
yes,
them. And so one of the things I did is I stopped talking about some things. Let's say for my children,
yeah,
there's some things that I said, you know what, as hard as it is, I'm not going to necessarily talk to you about this anymore. Now, this is when they get a little older. With smaller children, you're always,
yeah,
guiding them three
of
part,
course.
voice,
Yes,
visual, and sometimes hands, depending on, just
yes.
with touch and just gentle, being very gentle with them. But I started then doing things like leaving notes. It's so old fashioned. I love it
Mm,
though. I'll
yeah.
leave a note in their book bag. And if I know that they're headed in a particular direction or if there's someone they're not needing to be around, you know, I left one note that said, you deserve clean spaces and clean people. Stay around people
Yeah.
who live a clean life,
Yes.
just guiding them in different ways other than voice sometimes. Because particularly
Mm,
with boys, I have two boys.
yeah.
The voice is wonderful, but sometimes you just need, the written word and maybe just gentle hands. There are different ways to communicate.
Yeah.
And so I just love that, when the light bulb starts to come on, you
Yeah.
know, that I just kind of now tell them, wow, I'm so excited for you. Or I'm so proud of you. Keep going, leave a
Yes.
note on the bathroom window.
Oh, I love
You
that.
know, I still leave those old-fashioned notes,
I love that.
I'm proud of you. I will tell them God is on your side. No matter your friends,
Yeah.
no matter who comes and goes, somebody is there for you. Just little
Oh,
small things. And I realized I have to learn to stop using the presence of voice all the time with them because there's going to be a time when we are not there.
yeah.
We're not there. And so we still want them to be guided,
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to find different ways to do that. And I wanted to stop falling into the traps. Okay.
Yes, I know, and I love the traps. Like, I mean, it's so amazing because it, I mean, these are some powerful shifts that changes so much for like not just ourselves, but our families. And this is why this is so great to be talking about because some of us don't even realize that we're totally in these traps.
Yeah.
We're totally
Yeah.
doing it. So it's like to bring that realization and be open to hearing this and then be like, oh, okay, well, how can I evaluate how I'm showing up? Well, how am I talking to my kids? How am I talking to my spouse? How am I talking to myself? And seeing what we're doing to hinder ourselves from really having like the life that we deserve, that everyone deserves, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I love this. I love this.
So I'd love to hear more about it too, because this is a book, right? That you,
It is. It is.
yes.
And so
Okay.
just listen, I am on, Instagram, Facebook. The book is out there on Amazon and folks can go out and see some of the reviews of
Yeah.
what folks have said. It's quite interesting how people respond to, their relationship, what I call them relationship traps. But yeah, it's out there. I train on the area. There are 5 total, and I've gotten responses back that there are more than that. They keep telling me, just add this, add this. But it's the Groundhog Day,
Mm.
which is we keep repeating ourselves, the yes trap, which is what a lot of people, say that they fall into. But I take a little spin on that about the yes trap and tell people you're going to say yes anyway to some folk. Stop fooling yourself. Okay. You're not going to tell on Mary no. Okay. There's
It's like, let's be real.
not going to tell Uncle Bob no. Okay. So find a way to handle that. Okay. And
Mm,
I suggest something in the book. The delayed enlightenment trap is the one that I usually that happens with children a lot because, their little light bulbs don't
mm.
come on until later.
Yeah.
And you want to help them through the process and not hurt them through the
Yeah.
process and burn all of your
Exactly.
energy at the
Exactly.
same time. The frivolous talk trap is the one that usually happens at work, that cooler talk, and people are at work and realized they haven't gotten much of anything done,
Yeah.
especially on salaried jobs, at the end of the day. And so, and then the indecisive trap, that's the last one. So that's the five.
Oh, that's a
And
big
the
one.
indecisive trap says you are, engaging with people who don't want to make a decision, Mary. This was so good for me, but who don't want you to make one either. So they want to
Mm.
hold you in this process of really not moving forward. And there are lots of people like that. They just don't want to make decisions about their lives and sometimes want you to pay the cost for them not making decisions. And that happens quite a bit with loved ones,
Yeah.
people who may, need treatment, but who
Yeah.
may still want to keep you on a roller coaster ride or, that
Yes.
type thing.
Yes.
Who need money but don't want to get a job. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, they say, I hear this from so many people that I've connected with, and I can see it in my own personal life too. They always say, be careful, like when you start wanting to, let's say, start that business, right? But that's not something your family's been used to. And they have that kind of ideal. They're like, oh my God, it's too saturated. That can't be possible because we don't realize how much people project their own beliefs onto us and what they see is possible. They're going to put that on us whether they mean it. Sometimes it's good intentions. They want to keep you safe, just like our own minds do that to us. It wants to keep us safe, and it tries to convince us that it's just too much work, too much effort, too many people are doing it. There's no way. This isn't for you. It's for those people. Who are you to think about this? And it's like all that kind of trap. It's like we have to be careful, like you say, of really understanding, like, and discerning for ourselves, like, regardless of what people put out there on you or their perspective, like, at the end of the day, it's you. You
yes,
get to decide.
yes,
You're the one who's going to make the magic. You're the one who's going to bring this business to life, not them. So you don't
yes,
need to always include them in your decision making. Especially
yes,
don't actually. I was even taught about that with even my own spouse. Like, this is your business. Like, you don't need the husband to tell you what you can and cannot do because he will never be able to see what you're doing and what's going to become the fruition of that. They can only look at the limitations of what they know, and they don't know what's going on in your business. So why should they be part of that decision making? And I was like, wow, that was a powerful realization for me because I always thought that's what everyone does. Oh, you have to, run it by your partner. But I can see where your partner with their own limitations will be like, this doesn't sound right. It's too much money. It's too much this. It's blah, blah, blah. Why do this or whatever? Because they don't understand the growth or what that next level will be like. They can't see it for
yes,
you. So yeah, again, people do that a lot. That's a very valuable trap right there of
yes.
understanding and really being mindful about for sure.
Yes, please be mindful about it because people will drain, like I keep going back to, people will drain your
Mm.
power and your energy to actually produce the very thing that you are trying to convince them that they need to agree with you that you need to produce. They
Ooh,
will drain that. And it's not that they're doing it intentionally.
yeah,
They love you. They
yeah,
love you, but they are living it through their eyes. They are living what and the things that they're not sure about that's going to happen in your business. The fears, Mary, of
yeah,
you starting a business that they
yeah,
feel is saturated or that they feel, oh, is she going to stay in that? Yes, she is going to stay in that and she's going to be wildly successful. But they are living it through their lives, their experiences, and they're bringing that to the table. And that's okay. But what I am suggesting is that we understand these triggers, and these are just five where we can protect ourselves and set up those boundaries and say,
yeah.
I still love you
Yes.
and can be in relationship with you happily. It's just that all parts of our lives do not need to be 100% intertwined where we operate in those areas together. Now,
Yeah.
I know that is not a traditional
No, I
stance,
100% agree with that.
but we have to
Yeah.
separate,
Yeah.
some of these, especially big visions and big goals and big dreams.
Yes. Yes.
This is why your group is so amazing because it opens the door for women to say, listen, there is a coaching space or a group, a podcast where I can land and we are all speaking the same language.
Right? I mean, people don't understand the power of
Yeah,
community support.
that's right. I don't have to convince
Yes.
anyone
Mm-mm.
that our starting point, okay, our floor is here. Our floor is 100 times, it's 10x. So
Yes.
this is where we are starting. Whether it's the podcast that you had about the lady, the trauma experience, I would have to call her name, but it
Yeah.
was incredible. The experience that she went through and that she came out of.
Mm.
When you give podcasts like this, you're saying no matter your background, no
Hmm.
matter,
Yep.
okay? No matter whether you're the other one is what, the $1 million moms, the $1 million society. Oh my
Oh,
goodness, I
yes.
love that.
Yeah.
Whichever
Mm.
background, okay, we are all speaking the same language.
Yeah.
We're going to get up as moms and we're going to do this thing. And the traps are here to remind us to stop burning your energy with people, even if you love them.
Yeah. Yes. And surround yourself, like you say,
Get
with
it
these
done.
people who believe in you. So that's what I think is so powerful about this because for me with my coach, it was the fact that she believed in me in a way that I didn't believe in myself yet. But so what she saw what was possible for me was all I needed to get going. And then the more and more I did and did and did, the more I was like, oh, wow, I'm starting to see it. I see that version of myself. I see it unfolding. I'm getting better at my talks. I'm getting better about doing this. I know how to edit a website. I know how to do funnels now. I know how to do all these things that was so foreign to me that made me feel so overwhelmed in the beginning. And so now I get to turn all of what I've learned because of that person who believed in me and now give it back and believe in other people because I now know what is possible. And so I think that is such a powerful reason to consume your world with people like that. Like you say, who's on that same page, who's going to cheer you on, believe in you, be there for you, and see all the possibilities for you.
Yes,
That
yes.
is awesome. And you're right, setting those healthy boundaries with those who don't. Like you say, because a lot of times for a lot of people, it is within family because they know a different version of you. They know the old version of you, and that's sometimes hard too. Because I feel like me too. I've come from a quite a background, and so for some people, like they look at me and they're like, "Oh yeah, Mary, you're so great for this," but then others are like, who is she?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's going to
It's
happen.
okay.
That's okay. That is
It's
their
okay.
right. Exactly. But I still am choosing for myself to be here because I know that there's moms out there who need me, who need to hear this message, who need to hear your message, Shonda, who need to read your book, who need to be in our world because we're going to help them see what is possible for them. And to me, that just makes it so worth it all.
It makes it so worth it. And I tell you, I had to free myself. I think my last point on this, particularly with relationships, is
Yeah.
I had to free myself on the fact that there are family members and there are amazing people who love
Yes.
us dearly, Mary. They love
Yes.
us dearly. But let me tell you, they don't care anything about that you're international. They don't care anything about the fact that, you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to be a billionaire in the next 2 years. They don't care anything about that. And this is what I realized. That's okay. Because these are the same people who, if all of that stuff goes away, the only thing they care about is that you show up at the family reunion with the peach cobbler and the extra crust. They don't care anything about, and you know
Yeah.
what? They don't care now, and they're not going to care if anything happens with it. And so to have that group of people and
Mhm.
realize, make sure they're in that loving, amazing category that they are, it
Yeah.
is so freeing to just show up with them and say, you know what, it's okay that, you
Yeah.
don't know that Mary was over in Dubai giving a talk, they're like, we don't care, just
Yeah.
get back to the family reunion.
I love it. You're right. You're right.
That's okay. But yeah, but this is awesome. I love every minute of this, all that you're doing. And I'll just say, I guess for, my last points is keep your God-given power. This book, my work, is about keeping your power so that you really can maintain great relationships
Yeah.
and so that you can have both. We can have both. And so that we can do all of these wild, amazing things that we are really called to do. But we've got to keep our power, guard our energy, and stop falling into these unnecessary traps that
Yes.
are sucking the very life out of our dreams and out of our goals. And so that's one of my missions now, and I'm so excited about it.
Well, I'm excited for you, Shonda. You're amazing, and I know you are going to make such an impact in this world and on so many lives because your message is absolutely powerful, and it's so needed because it is something that so many struggle with. I mean, we live in a society in a world that is just so stressed out, so need that instant gratification, so much drama, so much up and down, so much going on, chaos in the world. And being a mom in this world is hard enough, like having to think about our children and what they're going to grow up into and who are they going to become and having the responsibilities, managing it all. And then you want to think about having a business. But that is a beautiful thing in this world. I think that's where the world's going. People are going to become more and more entrepreneurs because we want that freedom. People are done with the corporate like 9 to 5. And don't get me wrong, some people are for it, and that is great because I just hope that if you are in that world, that you just find what you love, that you enjoy it, truly enjoy it, feel appreciated, valued, and are making a real difference within that world. Because that's what it's ultimately about, is just choosing to live life on your terms and what
Yes,
makes you happy, what lights you up. And I'm 100% like, there's no judgment there, but it's like, this is so powerful in helping you navigate it because
yes,
we don't know what life is going to throw at us. We have no idea what's going to happen. And the more we allow ourselves to be open to these tools, the support, the guidance, the trust, the beliefs that empower us, the easier we're going to get through that than normally where it would defeat us. And
yes,
I don't want to see that. I want to see people rise. I want us to rise and thrive together. I want us to believe in what's possible. I want everyone to not feel that weight of being in debt, of living paycheck to paycheck, of not knowing what their purpose is, of not knowing who they are outside of being a mom. For instance, that's another one I see so much. Mom having the guilt because she wants to have her time and she don't think she's allowed to, putting herself on the back burner. All these things I am so passionate about, and I think what you're doing is incredibly powerful within that work of really helping people to like declutter their conversations. I love that conversation that you talk about, but it's so powerful. So you're
yes.
amazing, Shonda. Thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you so much. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate you being on here with us today. And my heart goes out to you and everything you're working on. If anyone's listening, go grab her book, show your support, and really take it in. Learn from that. And if you need any other support, get contact with Shonda today. I'll make sure all her links are in the show notes for you because like again, this is some real powerful work here that really will change your life. And if you're ready for that change, come seek us out. We're here for you. We got you, mama, right?
got you.
Yes. Thank you, Shonda, again, so much for being part of the show.
Thank you. It was awesome. And you are too. Thanks so much.
What an amazing conversation with Shonda. Here are some of the most powerful takeaways from today's episode. Redefine rich. True wealth isn't just financial, it's peace, purpose, and alignment. Prioritize your values. Knowing what truly matters helps you make better choices for your family and business. Set healthy boundaries. Protect your energy and say no to what drains you, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Model growth for your kids. Your personal development teaches your children what's possible. Let go of control. You can't carry everyone. Allow your loved ones to walk their own path. Surround yourself with support. The right community fuels your courage and helps you rise higher. If you want to learn more about Shonda and her incredible work, make sure to check out her links in the show notes. She's such a wealth of wisdom and inspiration. And Mama, if this episode spoke to your heart and you're ready to end this year strong and start 2026 with clarity, confidence, and unstoppable momentum, I want to personally invite you to connect with me today. I'm opening a few spots for moms who are ready to rise into their power, gain clarity, and create a life that aligns with who they truly are. You can reach out and schedule your free call at marydibblecoaching.com. It's your space to reset, refocus, and reignite your next level. If you loved today's conversation, also please subscribe, share this episode with another amazing mom who needs it, and leave a quick review. It helps this podcast reach even more incredible women like you. Until next time, Radiant Mama, keep shining, keep growing, and remember, you were made for more. Much love.